Hey everyone, welcome back. We are learning MB820 lab exercises. So this is a complete series where I'm planning to release it daily so that you can cover all the exercises in MB820 exam. So we have already covered these topics, that is, one is creating customer and new office furniture item. So we have already covered these two things, that is create a customer and new office furniture item, and then create and run AL extension, and this two in one video, and then these four exercise in one video, because these are all functional related exercises, but even the developer should understand how all these things are working. Okay, so now today we'll be discussing about these three exercises, that is how to create a table, how to create a card page, and the list page. So once if you click on this particular link, it will take you to that particular exercise. So this complete learning strategy Excel sheet which I have prepared for MB820 aspirants. Okay, if you are a member of Goms Tech Talks channel, so you can just send me an email. I will share this particular learning strategy with you. Okay, or if you are not a member and if you want to, you can also buy this. Okay, so this is available in my tech tutorial ebook store. The link is in the description. You can go and buy that. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, so please go and subscribe here, where you can find important and most useful playlists like functional consultant, business central functional consultant, business central technical consultant here. Okay, so here I have explained a lot of things about the business central. If you have missed that, so please go and watch it. And if you require any personal guidance, you can schedule a call with me. So this is the link is also there in the description. You can find it. And don't forget to join the WhatsApp channel to get the latest updates about Business Central videos, learning, like your blogs and everything. So the link is there in the description as well. Okay, so let's proceed with the today's session. So the first thing which we are going to see is creating a table. So as I told, it's a complete demo series, okay, practical series. So I'll just give you a hint of what is table, and then I will show you how to create a table directly. Okay, so I'll code in front of you so that you will learn that. Okay, so that is what the concept today we are going to discuss. So this is the table which we are going to create. So Simon is a developer working for Kronos International Limited, which has decided to start selling Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central training courses as its business. So Simon needs to create a table to record course information and set several keys so that the users have the options for different sorting sequence for the records. So here they have given a lot of information. So the first till this, okay, so till this we have already done in the day one session. Okay, you have to download your extension, Visual Studio Code extension. You have to download Visual Studio Code editor, IDE, and then Visual Studio Code extension. You have to download you have to download Visual Studio Code IDE, and then you have to download AL extension. Okay, Business Central AL extension. I have already discussed this in the first video of this series, so please go and watch it if you have missed it. And then you have to create a folder for your records, everything. These are all the basic things. Okay, so then we will be talking from this part. Okay, so we'll be creating a course management table. That is what we are going to do today. Okay, so just open your Visual Studio Code. You should have all these things in your Visual Studio Code. Okay, you should have this launch.json, rad.json, app.json. I have discussed about all these JSON files in my playlist, in the BC Technical Consultant playlist. So please go and watch that. And then here I have created a simple folder. Okay, MB820 labs folder. How you can create a folder? You can just go ahead here. So if you just simply click this, it will create a folder for you. Now let's create a table. Okay, in that I'm going to create a table. How you can create a table? First, you can either go and click this new file, or else you can right click on this folder and click new file. Okay, so you have to give a name for your table. So I'm just going to give table. Usually we will we will name this like a table if it what object it is. Okay, so table, if it is a table object, we will start with table, and then I used to give the ID. Okay, this is the ID for my table, and then I used to give the name of the table. Okay, so course mgmt.al. You have to end with .al because this is your AL programming, like application language. So this extension you have to give, then only it will understand your AL code. Okay, so we are done with this. So here you have a snippet. For in AL programming, every object has its own snippet. So how to enable the snippet? Just press T. Okay, and then if you press T, it will tell you what are the snippets you have. So if you start with T, then table, it is showing this is the snippet of your table. Okay, so this is the complete snippet of your table, which is like table, table ID, table name, data classification, fields, everything it will come. So you have to select that particular snippet and press enter. Now your table is here. Okay, so now you can see that you have to give the ID. Okay, what is that ID? ID will give you the unique identification of that particular object. Okay, so this ID you have to specify for that particular object. Okay, so the ID is valid, that is 50170 to 50300. So actually the available ID for all the partners, that is we are creating, right? So the ID is 50,000 to 99,999. So you can tell that what is the range I wanted to use it. So where you can tell, you can simply go to the app.json, and here you can assign what is the ID I wanted to use. So you can change it. Okay, you should not go beyond 99,999. So you can change. If you wanted to start with 5000, then you can tell, okay, I want to start with 500. Or else if you want to go with 50500, you can tell I want to start with 50500 to 51000. Okay, you can tell what is the ID you wanted to go with. Okay, so this is what the ranges you can specify. Got it? So that is why it is showing. You have to assign the thing here. So just delete it and start with 50170. This is my preferred ID, and you can give the name of the table. Okay, what is the name of the table? I'm just going to go with Cronus course. Okay, so Cronus course, and then you can give the data classification. These are all the properties. Okay, so this is your entire table, and if you want to assign some property to the table, you can assign it here. Okay, table properties here. And then your fields, actually your fields starts from here. Okay, and every field has its own property as well, and every field has its own triggers. Okay, so we'll be learning about the triggers, and if it is a table, you have to specify keys. Okay, which is the unique key you have to specify. And we will also have the field groups. If you want to specify the field groups, you can also do that. Okay, so this is the field groups, and each and every table, every object, in every object you can create a variable. Okay, so this is the global variable, which is when you create it here, you can access it from anywhere. This is your global object. And finally you can see these are all the table level triggers. Okay, so yes, we won't use this field groups now. Okay, then so I'm just deleting it here. And we will not be going with anything other than this. Okay, so triggers, on insert, on modify, we won't be using. So we will just go ahead with this. So once if you move your cursor to any properties, you can see what is that. Okay, data classification, how you wanted to classify your data. Okay, and how you want the data should be there, like properly labeling. Okay, that is what to be classified, which means that you want to classify that, or else you can select anything here like account data, customer. So these all are the already existing classification for the data. Okay, so you can select any one from this if you want. Okay, or else you can just go ahead with to be classified. So this is up to you. So here, as per the lab exercise, you have to classify this as a customer content. Okay, so this will be classified as the customer content, and content will be directly provided and created by admins and users. Okay, and then if you wanted to set anything else, you can just press control and space. Okay, once if you press control and space, you can see what are the various other properties which are available for the tables. So you can just by default we'll be giving captions. Okay, default in the sense it's not mandatory that you have to give lot of properties, but if you feel whatever is essential, you can just go ahead and give that. Okay, so this is what, if you want to give the course caption, then you can give it according to your lab. Actually it is mentioned as course, so you can also go ahead with the course. Okay, Cronus course or course. Okay, and then if you wanted to add anything else, like you can add it. So here you have various things like data permission, description. If you want to give some description to this table, all these things are available here. So just let's go ahead with the fields. So let's talk about the fields, what these fields are like. See, if you are creating a table, your table structure will be like this, right? Imagine your Excel sheet. Okay, if you know Excel. If you don't know Excel, don't worry, imagine your simple table. Okay, so here you will be assigning some columns, right? ID, course name, course duration, something like this. No, so this is what we call it as a fields here. Okay, if you have 3 fields, you have to add 3 like this block. Okay, if you have 5 fields, you have to add 5 fields like this, and every field has its own ID. Okay, this is the ID, this is what actually the syntax, this is ID, and this is your field name, and what is the data type. If you don't know about what is data type, you can just go ahead and check my AL programming. So anyhow, we'll be discussing about the data type in the upcoming lab exercises, but I hope you know what is data type. If you don't know, I would recommend you to go ahead and watch in this particular playlist 21 AL programming bootcamp 21 days of coding challenge. So here you can find it. Okay, so the what is the first according to your content, your exercise. So here you can see this is your field number, this is the code, what is the field name, what is the data type, and what is the length. So we are going to type like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and type. My first field name should be 10, and the field name, first field ID should be 10, and the field name is code. And what is that? Actually you have to give code, and you are going to assign the length 10. Okay, let me just give it inside the double quotes because sorry, it should be okay because it's a string, right? Code is actually, it's a keyword. And then any other things if you want to set, if you want to go ahead with a caption, you can just go ahead with the caption, or else you can just leave it like this. We are going to create nearly, I think, 10 fields here. Okay, and the field 20 is actually name according to your exercise. Okay, and I'm just going to give it like name. You can just assign the caption if you want. Okay, and you have to close it. And next field, let me just go ahead with the T field, and it's a description. Okay, and for description according to your lab it is only 50. So let me just go ahead with the next one, which is the duration. Okay, so duration is actually 50, and I'm just going ahead with the next one, which is like type, right? 40 is what type, what type of course it is. Okay, and I'm just making it as an option data type. So if it is option, you have to add the option members. Okay, if you're not adding an option member, it will show you error. So it is showing that the property option members cannot be blank, which means that you have to give the option members. So you can add the option members here. So what is the option you have to give? You can give the option members as instructor led. Okay, so you have to give like instructor led, online, option members. Okay, this is option, And okay, so this is instructor led, comma, online, comma, hybrid. So anything else if you want to give it, for that like you can add it. So what are the else we have, like instruct e-learning, remote training, I think online, remote. Okay, so these are the things which you are supposed to give here. And then the next one will be like option caption property. You can just go ahead with the so the next field is of, that is the duration, and then we have to add the price. Okay, so let it be like decimal, and then we have to add the like it's not active. Okay, so we'll be adding something called active, that is we will make it as boolean. Okay, and then we will delete this option member because this is not actually necessary here. Okay, and then we will be adding something called the difficulty level. Okay, so the difficulty level, let us just make it as difficulty. This is not level, so this is difficulty, and let us just make it as an integer, and we will delete this option members because this is not required. Okay, and then we will go ahead with the passing rate. Okay, and let it be like integer. We are just going with whatever is there in the MBA 20. Okay, and finally let's go ahead with the instructor code. Okay, we will be creating instructor code here where we will be linking this. Okay, code, and let it be code, and we are just giving 20 for this code. Okay, and the caption, let me just make it as passing rate, and then here let us make it as instructor code. Okay, and here anything else if you want to add, active, and this is difficulty. Okay, so all these things we have added, and it will show an error because you have to set a key. Okay, so far we have completed all the basic settings, and we have created nearly 10 columns here. Okay, and you have to add the primary key here. This is the primary key. So in the key you can add one primary key, that is one section as a primary key, and 49 secondary keys are possible. Okay, so the first one I'm just making a PK. Okay, this is the name which you are giving for the primary key, and this is the field which you wanted to add it for the primary key. So according to your session, like your practice exercise, you have to give code as the primary key. Okay, so I'm just assigning code as the primary key, and you have to add a foreign key as well. So I'm just going ahead with secondary key. Okay, SK is for secondary key, and you have to add instructor code and type as the secondary key. Okay, instructor code comma type. Okay, so this too you have to assign as the foreign key, and here you will be making this as a cluster. So you can assign only one cluster. Okay, and for the next cluster you should not make it as cluster is equal to true. Okay, this will define a clustered key, a clustered indexing. Got it? So this is how you can create a key. Okay, so you can remove any other codes which you want, and also you can remove the variable, that is myInt. By default there will be myInt variable will be there. Okay, so anything else if you don't want, you can just simply delete that. Okay, so let me just delete all these things here. If you want this we can use it, but according to our thing you don't want all these settings. Okay, so and the next important thing which we have to do is what, like we have to add one more field. Okay, called instructor name. Got it? So we will be just adding the instructor name here. So T field, and let me just make it as 120. Okay, and let me just make it as an instructor name. And if you are giving something with a space, you have to use the double quotes because that will be assumed as a string. And I'm just going to make this as text, and this should be like 50. And let's have the caption field as instructor name. Okay, and here we'll be making, so here we'll be making this as a editable property is equal to false. Okay, and then we will make it as a we will make this field class. Okay, there is a field class and we will make it as a flow field. Okay, and okay, got it. So this as a flow field. Okay, edit a flow field, and we have to add the calc formula. I will explain why we are doing all these things. Is equal to lookup and resource. Okay, it has to look up the resource dot name, and I will be adding var number is equal to field of instructor code. So here you cannot make this to be classified because it's a field class, so you cannot make it as to be classified. Okay, so the thing is, like, what I'm doing is what I'm making instructor okay, name, I think somewhere I have just made it as, okay, then it has to be like 100 because we are just comparing with the name. Okay, so here you can see that this is an instructor name and I want to make it as a flow field. Okay, flow field is what, like, it will just you can create this every field as a flow fields. Okay, the purpose of flow field is the dynamic calculation. So this will like on the go, it will just do the calculation and give it to you. Okay, so for the if you are assigning something as a flow field, you have to go with the calc formula. Okay, so here if you take my channel, you can find how to series. Okay, if you go to the playlist, you can find how to use the flow fields. Okay, just go ahead and watch this flow fields, you know, like you will understand completely like what is that. Got it? So let me just proceed. So we have completed all these things, and what is this resource? This is the Microsoft table. So Microsoft itself, they will create some base tables for you. That is what we call it as a resource. And I'm trying to look up from that resource and bring the resource name from that. Okay, so that is what the logic here. And once you can save this, it's completely fine. You can click Ctrl+S and to save this. Okay, we have created a table. Now we have to create, now we are supposed to create a page. Okay, so for every table, it is good to go with the card page. Okay, what is the purpose of the card page? It will be a user interface where if you wanted to enter the details about each and individual course, you have to create a card page. Okay, so let me just create a card page. Go to the same thing and click on this new file and then make it as page 50170, and let us just name it as Cronus card. Okay, so course card, I'm just making it as code card.al. You have to end with al. So again, you have to go with the snippet. Okay, you have these snippets with you, like this is a page. So there are various types of page. So this is a direct page, which is a card page. Okay, you can see this is a card page, and you have a list page which we'll be creating it. You have a role center page as well. Okay, so you have various types of pages here. You can find all these pages. So we have to go with the card page now. So let me just click on the first one and give the ID for the card page, and then you can give the name for the card page, like Cronus course card. Okay, Cronus course card. So now this is a table. What is your name of your table? The name of the table is Cronus course, right? You have to give the name of the table here. So once if you type, it will bring in all these things. So this is what application area is equal to all, which means that if you are going and searching it here, you know, if you are pressing the search button, it should get your card name. So that is why we are giving application area is equal to all. And usage category, you can make it as like none, or here as of now it is showing like administration, you can make this as none, okay, as per your exercise. So now you can see that if you are like, you can verify all these things. Okay, this is what the place where you have to assign the page level properties. You have various level properties as well, and here you will be adding the fields. Okay, so if you want to group it as a fact box, okay, you will be naming it like this. Okay, so the group name, and then here if you want to give some actions to your page, then you can add it, and this is a global variable as well. So let's go ahead and add. Okay, so let's here you have the first one, which is the general and the group name, you know, like this is the first one. Okay, let's just go ahead with the thing called content. Okay, this is the area content, and then let us just change the group name. So this is group into a general. Okay, let me just make it as general. Okay, so this is a general group. You can just name this. So here I'll be adding the code name and description. Okay, so in table you can see that when you are assigning a field, you have to give the like field ID, field name, and the data type. We have already assigned all these things, right? And we have made it as a source table. So here you don't want to give ID or the data type. You have to just call it. Okay, so I will be calling it what code. I have to bring in the code. So just you can name this as code. Okay, and then I will be bringing in what name. Okay, and then I will be bringing in the description. Okay, general, course name and description. If you wanted to add any caption, you can add it here as well. Okay, just go ahead with the caption and add it. Now I will be creating another group. Okay, so where I have to add the other things. Okay, so let me just create another group called general. So sorry, I will create another group called details. Okay, so your actual group, okay, this group is ending here in the yellow color curly brace. So I'll be creating another group here, and I will just name it as what? I'll be naming it as details. Okay, so you can just open the group here, and then you can add your fields. So what are the fields you wanted to bring in the details? You have to add duration. Okay, duration you can add, type, active, price and all. I think we don't want to bring in. Okay, you have to bring in duration. Okay, price, type, active, instructor code and instructor name. So passing rate, I think it's not there, and the instructor code is also, instructor code is there, right? Okay, the instructor code is not added here. I'm sorry. Yes, instructor code is here, and the passing rate is also here. But why it is not getting this? Okay, PASSING rate. Okay, so that is why it is unable to fetch it. Okay, so passing rate and instructor code you can bring in here. Okay, so all these things we have said, and you can find all these things and verify. You can see that you have a processing area here, right? So you can create an action here. Okay, so this is your simple action. So you can change the name of the action. Okay, so here you can change this name of this action. Okay, this is the action name as resource card. Okay, and in the action you can just make it like tooltip, which is you can make it like open the resource card. Okay, and then in the run object, you have to add like page is equal to resource card. You have to bring in the resource card. Okay, because if I click on that, it should bring the resource card. Okay, and I'm just adding run page link. So these are the various properties. You can just add it. And run page link, in run page link I just want to go with number, okay, is equal to field of instructor code. You will understand this when we execute the code. And in the image, I'm just making it as the relationship. Okay, you have some images, you can just add a few images for your actions. Okay, and I'm just making promoted is equal to true, and then promoted category is equal to process. Okay, so all these things you can just add it. So you can remove this on action trigger. Okay, and you can also remove this unwanted variables. So ensure that you are removing all the unwanted things. Okay, so this is essential because we have created the flow field, right? And when you click on that, it should bring up the proper data from the resource card. Okay, so I will show you where it is actually working. Let's create the list page and then we will execute this and see. Okay, so I'm just going to create a new file and make it as page 50171 course list.al. So what is the thing is like list will show you the consolidated consolidated view of all the courses whichever you are creating. Okay, so it is good to create a card page and the list page for all your table. And you can see this, I have named the table like the ID I have given for the table is 50170. So I can use the same ID for different objects. If you are creating a code unit, I can name it as 50170, but not two code unit with the same ID. Okay, so here you can see I have to actually name it as 50171. Okay, if for example if I am giving 50170, let's see, okay, what is the error it is showing. So if I give 50170, you know, it will throw me error because it's already taken. Okay, what is the error? You can find the error here. Page ID is already declared. So if you just make it as 171, you can, the error will be away. And then you have to name this as course list Cronus course list. Okay, so I'm just naming it as the Cronus course list, and the source table is same. Okay, so the source table will be same here. So create a new page. So here we have created this and we have named it as well, and the page type you have to select. Okay, so here it is by default, it is a card page. Got it? So we have to change this. So what you have to do, again go to the T page and select this type as list. Okay, so all the pages, every pages has its own snippet and the sections. Okay, you can see here that this is what it shows like. This is your list page, and you can select the table name. Okay, you can also select the table name here, and then you can see that in the okay, so here you can see that you have all these things like you can verify the content area. So this is the content which is created, and you can, if you don't want, you know, you can just add few data here like code. What are the things which we want, we can just add it here. Okay, so the field you have to add what, you have to add the code. Okay, and here you have to add the next field as you have to add it as the description. Okay, code name, description, price, instructor name, course, whatever the thing which you wanted to see. Okay, you can just use that fields around. It's not mandatory that you have to bring in all the fields which you have created in the table. Okay, whatever you want to see that as the list, you can just make it. Okay, field type. Okay, if you want to see the price, you can just go ahead with the price. Okay, and the instructor name, I want to see the instructor name. Sorry, it's an instructor name. Okay, okay, I want to bring in the instructor name. So all these things we have done. Okay, so this is what I wanted to see. I don't want anything else like a fact box, you know. I don't want anything other than this like actions or something. Let me just save this. Let us execute this code. If you want to execute this code, you have to come to the launch.json, because launch.json has all the configurations. Whichever if you want to execute, so everything will be available here. So you have to launch this course card. Okay, 50170. Let us just type 50170. Save this. Okay, ensure that all the other files are saved, and then press Ctrl and F5. You can see the compilation AL project has started, and you can also find that once your complete program is validated, it is properly executed, it will open the browser and it will show you the output. Okay, it will open up with the card page, because here we have assigned the card page. Okay, 50170 card page ID, and this is the startup object ID. So once it is done, it will automatically open the browser, and here you have to give the proper details for that. Okay, so let us just see how the card page has come up. So meanwhile, we have covered these 3 exercises. Okay, whatever is there in your Business Central. So we have covered these exercises, that is create a table. Okay, this is our third video. Card page and the list page. Okay, so yes, I think it's open and it is showing Cronus course card. Okay, this is what actually we have given here in the page, card page, Cronus course card. Okay, so that is what displaying here, and you can see this is a code name. And I told you, right? So here you can see this is the group. In general, we have added code name and description. So in general fast tab, you can see code name and description. And in the detail fast tab, you can see course type, difficulty level, and the duration. So now you have to click on this plus to add a new data. Okay, I have clicked on this plus, and you have to give the code 80040, and in the name you have to give installation and configuration, and in the description you can give basic knowledge of installation and configuration. Yes, now it is coming up. I think in the option caption, I think I have to give it in the different scenario, but it should come. Okay, let's just make it in a different way. Okay, so now it is executed, right? So let's go ahead with this, and let me just add a different course code. Okay, let me just go ahead with 80042, and the name will be AL introduction, and the description is introduction to AL programming. So I think yes, you can also make it like a different one. Okay, we will just go ahead with the e-learning, and the difficulty level, I just want to go with 8. Okay, now like duration, you can just go ahead with 5 hours, and the passing rate, if you just want to leave it, we can leave that, and the price you can see like 25,000, and the instructor code, so for the instructor code, I think we have passing rate, we can just add it as 80. Okay, and active. And I think for the instructor code it should pop up, right? Resource card, I'm just bringing the resource card here. So this is what the action I have created. Okay, we haven't created the resource card, so let me just create a resource card here. REC. Okay, let me just add a resource card. If you want to add any resource card here, name, let me just give the name, my name, and base unit of measure. Okay, this should be like per session, right? Resource group number, we haven't added any resource group. I think it's saved. So now we can just go ahead. So in the instructor code, I think we haven't added anything, right? We have to give the code, and you have instructor name, and that name we haven't added here. Instructor code, and here we have to bring in the instructor name, T field instructor name. So this we haven't added, that is why it is not showing up there. Okay, and also if you wanted to add here, you can also add it here as well. Let's see the list. Okay, how it is actually created. Let's see the list here. So your course list, right? Cronus course list. So this is the to list. You can see here, this is the list which is actually created. And if you click, if you edit the list, you know, the resource is not actually added. That is why it is not bringing up the instructor name. Okay, we have to add the resource here, and once we have added the resource, it will be just popping up there. Okay, so let us just click on the instructor name, and let's click on new, and we will select the new resource here, new, and for example, if I'm handling AL, and then I'm just going to go with the tutor, okay, or the trainer. So starting number, ending number, all these things we can just go ahead and we can just make it, okay, we can just make it as AL1, AL 101, AL 110. Okay, and I think it's saved. So let's go ahead with the resource as well. Okay, and resource 30, Dr. Gomati. So let's just name it as, okay, and he's a person, and the base measure, everything we will just leave it, and let's go back to that. So yes, we have created all these things like the instructor, your course details and everything. You can find that there will be the details which is given. You have to enter all the details which is given in the list, and then you can proceed with that. Okay, so this is how actually this code, your course table, your table, card page and list page works. And we will look into the next session. The next session we will discuss about the table extension, page extension, and the report. Okay, so okay, report we will see it's in a different one, and table extension and the page extension, Dataverse. Thank you, take care, and bye bye. Have a great day and have a great week ahead.